I'm calling it the Nerd Club, or TNC.
Nerd!
Hello, friends! Welcome back to Red X Trace Amounts of Science. Today we are getting into some r/NeckbeardStories. For real this time. I purposely avoided NeckbeardStories. I double-checked. Although the Memento video from yesterday was super good, so go check that out as well. We'll see what we can get into today, so thanks so much for being here. Let's get on into this thing. Neckbeard Tale Uno! Wow, we're so bilingual. Hey everyone, I guess I'll break the ice and tell a neckbeard tale of my very own. I have so many, so I labeled this as Uno. Unfortunately, we never got even dos, but that's okay. Good effort. I work/go to school at a place that has a ton of neckbeards, like an unhealthy amount, so I will post more soon. Smiley face. Didn't happen. I told this about a month ago over in Just Neckbeard Things, but here it is again, because it's my personal favorite. Oh, nice. I was in this crafts class, easy elective, and got stuck sitting next to a neckbeard. I'll just call him NB for short. Ooh, clever. I guess these artsy kids were pretty close because they all seemed to be friends, and they all seemed to avoid Neckbeard. I didn't really think that much of it, and conversed with him as I would normally converse with anybody. Big mistake. It was pretty painfully obvious that he developed a crush on me. Oh my god, a woman who treats me like an actual person? We're gonna be together forever. He had only met me once, but he would stare at me and just act generally pretty creepy. I think my biggest clue was when he started telling me about how he tried to woo another girl in class in the past, and obviously she rejected him because he was too nice. Isn't that always the case? Oh, poor you. Let's cry a river for you. His courtship consisted of following her in between classes, emailing her constantly, and bothering her friends. Yeah, sexy. Oh yeah, you like a good dose of insecurity smattered in there, I'm pretty sure. That's what's gonna hold this whole thing together. So, to prove to me that he was over her, he drew a big X on the table near her seat and told me that he had just cursed her. Right. Yeah, we got neckbeard slinging curses out here. It's fucking crazy. Crazy days. So obviously I got the picture that this guy is bananas, so I resort to giving him short word responses and generally avoiding eye contact with him. Yeah, like an angry gorilla. Obviously he was too nice for me, but one day I could tell that he was agitated. No, that's fine. Let him, that's fine. I don't want to interact. He was bouncing his leg and staring at me, sweat dripping and collecting in his neckbeard. Ugh. Neckbeard kept tugging at his fedora. In my gut, I knew what was coming. This motherfucker's gonna ask me out. Oh god, oh shit, oh fuck. So, OP, you wanna go to my film opening? I have plans. Obviously, I was not grateful enough for his glorious attention, because the next words out of his mouth were, "Oh, you shouldn't wear makeup. You're just buying into corporate brainwashing." Yeah, that's why you grow the neck beard, right? You don't want to give Gillette any money. Then I'll tell you what, put some stock into Gillette, invest, and then buy as many razors as you want. And you can feel really good about it, because you're essentially giving yourself money in the most roundabout way possible. OP just says, what? And from that day on, he would always find something to try and say and insult me. Hey, you shouldn't wear heels. You look like a whore. So on, so forth. I look back on him fondly and wonder how blind I was to have ever rejected Prince Charming. TLDR, rejected Neckbeard, and he resorts to implying that I'm a whore. Oh, the euphoria. Short, sweet, to the point. I do wish that we got a follow-up and what became of all this, but of course we don't. Of course we don't. We're not allowed to have nice things. Actually, it was kind of a nice story, I guess. Good one to open up with. That's what I'll say. We'll see what the randomizer brings us next. So let's go ahead, pull the lever, and see what happens. This story titled Sammy, or Why Do Women Never Come Back to Our Club? Because you chased them out with a stick. You're being real fucking weird. Anyway, back in college, there was a nerdy club that would run all sorts of board games and tabletop campaigns. I'm calling it the Nerd Club, or TNC.
Nerd!
So TNC was a bit small, but well attended by its 15 to 20-ish regulars over the time that I attended. I have many stories of this club, but I want to start with one of the more disturbing, cringeworthy ones. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's turn up the fucking heat! So I mentioned the club had 15 to 20 attendees. At any given time, this was the majority men and maybe 5 women, myself included. With each new school year, a bunch of people would visit the club, but only a few, mainly men, would keep attending. You might have guessed that this club had a little trouble getting new women to join, and part of this problem was a guy that we'll call Sammy. Well, can't we call upon the authority of the club head or whatever to expel Sammy? Or is he in the he's probably in the position of power. He's just the type, isn't he? I know him already, front to back. So I first met Sammy while walking to the convenience store to grab snacks. It was a short walk from the club to the store, and he offered to go with me, so along we went. Sammy was a bit lanky, with long, greasy hair, stark yellow teeth, and a noticeable but not overpowering scent. I mean, scent can be a good thing. He might smell a little bit too much like flowers. I want you to tell me he smells like fucking toe cheese inside an old football helmet, you know? He may not have had a neck beard, but the other qualities were definitely there. Well, as we say here, it's the beard on the inside that counts. Check it out. Thanks so much. So my young, naive, OP self figured nothing was wrong with some company. The gentle sir, however, intended to proposition his lady. He proceeded to walk just a bit too close to me the whole time. He gave me some uncomfortable compliments, and of course he talked on and on about himself. So I live with my mom. She's really nice. She cooks for me every night.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf! Ma, the meatloaf! Fuck!
My dad hung himself in a closet, though. That was sad. Okay, I'm trying to go to the fucking 7-Eleven. Can we not do this right now? It's so dark. Explain some things, though. Tell you that. Sammy asked me to come to some event that weekend, and despite me saying that I wasn't interested, he kept on asking. I think I eventually just said, maybe. Toward the end of our walk to the store and back, Sammy asked me out to coffee the next day. See, you give a mouse a cookie, you try to just offer them an inch and treat them like a human, they'll take a whole fucking mile. They want to move into your house and whatnot. No coffee. You don't need coffee, you drink water. And I said, okay, in no small part to escape his increasingly nauseating breath. See, he doesn't need the coffee, he's just creating a whole, fungal colony. His teeth look like shit already. Come on, man. Come on. Have you looked in the mirror? I figured I would go to coffee to get it over with, but I kept feeling more and more disturbed. I mean, I'm sort of disturbed on your behalf, but also, you fucking agreed to it. It's easy to get out, I guess. Once you've already agreed to it, you just text them back and be like, oh, hey, I got stuff to do, basically forever. Don't call me anymore. I'll let you know when I'm free, which is, again, never. Later that day, I told the guy in the club what had happened and that I was a bit creeped out. He plainly said, oh yeah, Sammy's that dude who, sexually assaulted that one chick last year. What the fuck? How has he not been expelled? Are there repercussions for this? Everybody just knows and doesn't have a fucking problem with it? What's wrong with you people? I am speechless. My knowledge of that incident at the time, a guy in the club, Sammy, had similar to what he did with me. Weaseled his way into getting a car ride from a woman in the club, and it was just the two of them with her driving, and God knows what moves he tried to put on her. He groped her and touched her inappropriately. She was terrified, and he was immediately kicked out of the club. Oh, well, but how the fuck? He's just lurking now? People are like, you're kicked out technically. On paper, we can't have you here, but we still need our level 12 paladin, so please keep showing up. It's not worth it. Take him out back. Put the boots to him, at minimum.
Walk home, clown.
So, what I did not know at the time was that Sammy had been allowed back into the club a few months after the incident. What the fuck? He was allowed back on the condition that he wouldn't try to touch or creep on any of the women. This decision was made by just a few guys in the club because Sammy's actually a good guy. He just messed up. To my knowledge, the woman he groped was not told about this turn of events, and none of the women in the club were told what he had done / who he was. Dude, this fucking dangerous situation. Everybody in this club is getting the boots. Did you have knowledge of it and you did nothing? Then you deserve nothing but punishment. What a fucking horrible way to go about life. Who do you think you are? To just put other people in danger. Because we like Sammy. He's a good guy, Sammy. He just assaulted that one girl in her car. Like, that's grounds for expulsion, okay? Personally, I'd, at the very least, never talk to you again. At the very most, come knock on your door with a fucking Red X brand crowbar. Hey, open up! Or I'm gonna open it up myself. So, once he was back in the club, you can bet that Sammy carried right on creeping, and had only learned to be sneakier about it. The reason he asked to walk with me was so he could ask me out without being scolded. It suddenly became crystal clear why we had a tough time keeping women around, even the ones who seemed interested in the club. Yeah, the leadership just doesn't give a single fuck, do they? They're just like, whatever. Our club will, die as a thing. But at least we have Sammy, the fucking degenerate. We get to hang out with that weird guy. No thanks. I hate every part of this. After I mentioned this and did some scolding and lecturing, Sammy was kicked out for good. Hey, fuck yeah, OP. You're keeping other women safe. That's nice. And also keeping the club alive, but I guess that's like, tertiary. Who really gives a shit about this club? It's full of people who would cover for Sammy if they were not, about to get slammed with a lawsuit. OP concludes, I truly think that the guys who let him come back showed that they did not give a shit about the safety of the women in the club. Yes, precisely. I should have left TNC right then and there. Unfortunately, my younger, dumber self apparently needed more red flags to actually stop going to TNC, and indeed, TNC delivered. I forgot what TNC stands for. It stands for the Nerd Club. Which I guess is a pretty good title. We got the Fatty Club. I'm going to get back to that saga eventually. But I did find another part of the Nerd Club. The only other one that I found. But we'll knock it out right now. Why not? Let's complete the whole set. Especially if it's only 2. I'll see you over there. This story called Warren. Or Where's Our Money? Yeah, we don't fuck around with that. I'm back after far too long to tell another story from the Nerd Club. I hope it's the conclusion, because this is all we get, okay? Brief backstory. The Nerd Club was a board and tabletop gaming club that I was in for a few years. The club had its share of neckbeards, ranging from horrible to tolerable. The club didn't have much female attendance. Maybe 2 out of every 10 regulars was a woman. Yeah, shocker, I know. In my last post, I talked about Sammy, who assaulted a member of the club, but was allowed back in due to some fucked up politics. Today, I want to talk about another infamous member, Warren. Warren checked a few of the typical Neckbeard boxes. He was 30-something, overweight, and had hands down the greasiest hair that I have ever seen. This is a college, right? He doesn't even go to the college. He's just a 30-something that lives with his mom, fucking shows up. Is that what I'm to understand about this? Otherwise, why is it a club? If it's just like, local game shop, whatever, it's fine. Wherever this is taking place, I'm sure I'm gonna hate it. So Warren was tolerable, even friendly at first, but his type wears on you eventually. He had a pretty obnoxious personality, complete with a victim complex. He tried to take over any game and then throw a tantrum when things didn't go his way. Warren had poor money management skills. Any money that he got was spent on games and crappy figurines. He often didn't have cash for food, so he got a friend to pity him and buy him groceries every couple of weeks. Oh, what a fucking leech. No. We're gonna let this guy in? No. I can't do it. I see you for what you are. I'm learning from other people's mistakes, and I'm going away now.
I knew there was something wrong with you. The secrets, they're sneaking around. Now it all makes sense.
To my knowledge, Warren was always very ungrateful and entitled about this. Yeah, well, you get what I feed you, Warren. Enjoy some Franks and beans.
Have you seen my wiener?
Yeah, he's human garbage. People were starting to get pretty sick of him. Instead of maybe trying to improve himself, he decided to be as shitty as possible. Without getting specific, he got a hold of the club's funds and eventually skipped town with the money. Damn, dude. That's pretty fucked up. Like, the club isn't great, okay, but people put in money. Like, good people. Not just the shitty people that sheltered, crappy, what's-his-face, Sammy and Warren. He didn't deserve all the money. Just take it from the shitty people. Goodness. So, yeah. Supposedly, he needed it to help his family. He never apologized or tried to pay it back. He went a few states away, managed to get a girlfriend, and gave her a promise ring. She realized pretty quickly how shit he was and broke up with him. Atta girl. I mean, you can only keep the wool pulled over the eyes for so long, There are many other stories about Warren, but I wasn't present for many of them. Maybe I'll ask a friend who knew him to relate some more tales that I could share. Sorry if this is a bit disorganized or overly long. It's short as shit. What are you talking about? A little disorganized, though. TLDR, lying, manipulative Neckbeard steals money from the only people whom he could call his friends. Well, sometimes it's just desserts. That's what I know. I'm so glad. He thought he was going to change his whole life with this, what could it have been? A couple grand at the most? Jesus, it's really probably not worth firebombing the entire thing over, but you do you, I suppose. Personally, I think Sammy is about the worst fucking thing, and then the Warren story feels like we quickly ran out of steam. That's why there's no third story, but I appreciate the two we got. Gubbinses, who do you think is worse, Sammy or Warren?
Sammy get kicked out for being human pile of red flags, but Warren steal food money from own kind and run. You can fix creep with therapy, but you can't fix broken greasy. Gubbins.
What the fuck? Gubbins, terrible take. I hate everything about what you just said. I'm not gonna give Sammy a chance to get in therapy. Warren stole, yeah, but it's not like he fucking, directly ruined somebody's life. They're both terrible. Dark Gubbins, can you break the tie here?
Sammy's just a discount neckbeard with boundary issues and criminal breath. But Warren went full villain. Straight up looted the guild bank and bailed like a cartoon raccoon. One's a pest, the other's a plague.
Yeah, but you have them fucking backwards! The pest, okay, he stole some money, at least he fucking left. The plague is there, still swimming around trying to make everybody's experience uncomfortable. You know what? Fuck both of you guys. I get 3 votes, okay? Bunch of assholes trying to tell me stealing something's not as bad as literal physical assault. Yeah, that's why you're only singular-celled organisms, you know that? Fucking no brain whatsoever. Follow my lead, okay? That's how we're gonna get through all this. Let's go ahead and do another story because we still got some time left. Why not? And join me over there. The Tale of Podrick, or How to Be Banned from Magic. Yeah, it's actually pretty hard. You can, like, not shower for years, and they're still fine with it. So this is the tale of a neckbeard dubbed Podrick. It is important to note that he is/was the only truly neckbeardian/weeaboo African-American that I have ever encountered. Yeah, black weeb. Okay. You put so many more words than you needed to. I don't think that's necessary. This is surprising, given that I've worked for years in a game store. Yeah, I guess your town isn't very diverse, is it? The part about the game store is also important for later. I knew Podrick as a friend of a friend back in high school, where he did all the truly cringy neckbeard and weeaboo behavior. He was obsessed with magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! To the point of concern, but he was also pretty fucking terrible at both. He tried to scheme his way into relationships to hilarious results, including holding auditions to be his prom date. If you're really lucky, I'll let you date me. The level of disconnect, okay, wow. You're really painting the picture. He purposely would get himself into the friend zone because it's literally the best plan ever. It's just dating, but like you're not banging. And they'll come around. They always come around. Except none of them ever came around. And if they called him out on his plan, well then he called them racist. Oh yes, that old get out. He also loved to one-up everyone else. He once claimed to have had a butt-stuff threes-up at the ripe young age of 8. What the fuck? That's not even cool. That's just, like, concerning. Like, somebody needs to call Child Protective Services. I know you're lying, but also, like, this is the biggest aspiration that you have. Sharing a butt with another dude. Okay, I'm not I'm not gonna ask any further questions. You live how you want to live. I'm gonna stay way the hell over here. When Podrick heard that I wanted to go into game development post high school, he wanted me to be his code monkey bitch and help out with his game idea. See, everybody's got a fucking game idea. Nobody's willing to put in the legwork. You want to know why? Because to get like 10 minutes of gameplay, it's hours and hours of work. The reason that I know how to code is that I put in thousands of hours to learn how to do it. So unless you're paying me for the thousands of hours that I've already spent, then I'm not that fucking interested. But see, he doesn't want to better himself. He doesn't want to actually learn. He just wants to have the thing done for him. I see you for what you are. Now get the fuck out of my face. Yeah, so cool game idea. And he totally let me in on a percentage of the profits after it sold millions of copies. He had a Trapper Keeper with 24 floppy disks in the late 2000s.
Hey dudes, check out my sweet Dawson's Creek Trapper Keeper Ultra Keeper for 2 at 2000.
Lathered in his genius. Dude, what? I guess I did have a floppy disk reader in like 2005, I think. That's right on the cusp, though. You should probably put those on a CD before they're lost forever. Or I guess they would be lost forever even if you put them on a CD. How about you put them on Google Drive or something digital until they shut that down? Really, there's no way to preserve anything anymore. I think that's how Big Brother wins. You know, it's just everything is able to be memory hold because nothing's persistent. It's going to be a very interesting and hellish future, I think. But I digress. Cool floppy disks, bro. He let me borrow his Trapper Keeper so I could start coding from his floppy disks because he already had tons of investors lined up to help produce it. Give me a name. Give me one fucking name and maybe I'll write like a line of code. The genius game of his was essentially just a bastardized Kingdom Hearts. The main character, Kikerdop, what fucking kind of name is that? Oh, it's his name backwards, okay. He had dual keyblades, and he traveled to different worlds, fighting off the mindless It was the Heartless in Kingdom Hearts, for those who recall. They were following the evil Pope, and instead of Disney films, each world was a different girl that he had crushed on, and what he thought they liked and were into. So it's like horny psychonauts? This is the worst thing ever. No, I don't think I'm interested in that. Thank you. He thought one gal liked whales and BDSM, and so the final boss of that planet was an anthropomorphic whale dom with big old bazooms. Another girl was dating a future Marine, so her planet was a war-torn hell pit with blood rivers and skull trees, with her boyfriend as a brutal warlord. Honestly, sounds metal as fuck. It sounds to me like Podrick wants that chick, but he's too scared of the Marine boyfriend to try and make a move. So instead he makes his stupid little game. Lives in his dumb little fantasy world. This is why you ain't ever gonna be shit, son. Alright? Let me tell you that right now. On each planet, after defeating the final boss, Kick-a-Drop would rescue the girl and bring her back to the main planet, where she would become a willing slave in his harem. This is so concerning. I really hate him as an individual. Can we boots to him? I think so. We've done it to somebody already today, I think, but I still got some more. It's leg day. We gotta work it out. In this game, there were also supposed to be sex mini-games that he went into way too much detail on, and full city-building elements with realistic simulation on the main planet in order to unlock new moves. It was also somehow an MMO that he alone would have god powers over and be able to take the slaves of other players into his own personal super harem. I gotta be honest, that's the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. Why? Why would anybody play this game if essentially a dev can come along and be like, oh, all that stuff you gathered, it's mine now. That's such garbage. And the game itself, yeah, just really directionless. No fucking loop, really, aside from like you can see these digital tits if you play the city building game long enough. If that's really what I wanted to see, I just go Google it. And it would be done. Even in early 2005, this was not a problem. But Podrick wants his own special little thing. He just doesn't want to build. I hate him. What a lazy piece of shit. So yeah, the floppy disks were filled with MS Paint sketches of everything. Tell me about some of the mini games, OP. I want to know. Diddle the cliddle. I had to pass it up, as I could never give it the treatment that this game deserves. Despite the millions promised from investors, he kept hounding me about making it anyway. Yeah, I got all these investors and millions of dollars, but you're the only one that can execute my vision, OP. You're the only one who knows how to make those polygon breasts just right. After our high school graduation ceremony, in which he asked me one last time to make his game, while we were all in our robes celebrating with friends and family, I didn't see him again, until he stopped by the game store that I was working at. And the first time he came in, he started bragging about how, oh, his life was so amazing. He just won an invitational magic event with a large cash prize that he was going to put towards his own game, which was, of course, also coming along great. He started buying up tons of magic singles and ended up dropping over $200. He also had what I could only really best call a lackey following him around, carrying his cards, supporting him. We'll call him Teeny, since he was very small. Poor Teeny. Why's it gotta be like this? Don't carry that boy's cards. Don't you want better for yourself? God damn it. So the second time he came in, it was a magic game day for the new set that had come out. A quick explanation is that game day is a casual, relaxed event where you get to play with the new cards that just came out. Maybe win a few booster packs. Basically, just have some fun for a pretty low price. He came and decided not to play in the event out of mercy for the other players. but he did want to play casual games with his pro deck. Out of 5 or so games he played, he never once won with his invitational winning deck.
Yeah, you suck. Yeah, you just fucking suck.
But one of his opponents thought maybe he was cheating. However, it wasn't substantial enough to prove, and yeah, he lost anyway. If you lose while you're cheating, like, you suck. You suck more than sucking, and you need to reevaluate not just the game, but like your entire life. How do you also suck at cheating? He doesn't put his heart in anything. He's like, see, OP, you need to come over here and cheat for me. It's the only way I can do it correctly. What a fucking maroon. So, toward the end of the day, he tried to make a trade with one kid, but insisted that Teeny, that kid, and him go out to his car around the back, as that's where his cards were. A few minutes later, the kid comes back in crying with a bloody nose. Oh, classy. Good job, Podrick. Way to break up the racial stereotypes there. Jesus. When they got back to the parking lot, Podrick had punched that kid in the face, grabbed his binder of cards, and drove off with Teeny. The authorities were quickly summoned, and we had plenty of information about the perps to tell them, as we knew Podrick personally. Podrick and Teeny were banned from the store forever. Yeah, how about a bit of jail time? How about, like, hey, you just fucking assaulted that kid? Like, no, we have to give him some understanding. Do we? Do we really? He better get some fucking jail time. I'm sick of this two-tier justice system, let me tell you that! It's not for this video. Okay, it's fine. Teeny was eventually found and sang like a canary to the police about everything since he was underage and didn't know Podrick was going to steal the cards. He wasn't charged with anything. Our store got into contact with another store, and that's when we found out that they had banned Podrick because he was actually cheating in every game of Magic that he played, even the casual matches. And probably still losing. When we got into contact with the DCI about suspending his account, they did a bit more investigation into him, leading to the best scumbag move that he had done so far. That invitational event that he won, well, it was a Magic tournament that was restricted to children and teenagers, and the prize was a college scholarship. He doesn't even know what to do with it. He's like, I could fence this. I'm gonna turn this into cash. Nobody's gonna buy that shit. College scholarship's worthless these days.
Just do the math.
He lied about his age to participate in the event, and then presumably cheated his way to victory for a college scholarship that he'd never use. In the end, he was banned from entering all game stores in pretty much our entire region of the states, and banned by DCI from ever participating in a Magic event ever again. A few months later, he did try to enter one at our store under a false name, and then when asked to leave, refused to do so, citing the First Amendment. Yeah, I got your First Amendment right here. I got some real choice words for you, Podrick. Why don't we talk about it out back behind my car? That's where I keep my lead pipe. I mean my cards. Really, he deserves a lot worse than what he got. Essentially, it seems like there's no jail time whatsoever. Just banned from the store. Probably the governors are going to be like extra outraged about this guy because he was stealing. Meanwhile, I'm still stuck on, the dude that literally made somebody uncomfortable physically. I'm not sure which one actually wins or loses. I guess they're all losers in their own way. But I know that I think that one of these stories in particular is the most dastardly. I hope you'll let me know which ones down in the comments that you hated the most or enjoyed the most, I guess. Sign up on Patreon, YouTube memberships. I appreciate that a hell of a lot. This is the first outro we've had in a while where I didn't blow up the lab, so, maybe appreciate that for a moment. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and until then, bye-bye.